Oh, 80s week. Yo, we are here and we are rolling right along. So something I want to do each year for this is an underrated 80s guitarist video. I took a lot of the suggestions that you guys had from last year's video, and I'm gonna throw them all on here. So I got 8 different guitarists here for you. And before we dive into all that stuff, if you guys would, do me a huge favor. If you like 80s week, just like 80s content, check out my brand new course, The Ultimate 80s Shred Lick. It's on sale this week. We got so much 80s stuff coming at you. We also are giving away possibly the most 80s guitar ever. I don't know. That'll be linked down below for you to enter as well. Check that out if you would. And I think that we just dive in here. We just get into it, and let me know who you think should be on the list next year, or who you think I missed on this one. So anyways, let's get it. Okay, so first up is Vinnie Moore. Now, I will say all the clips that I'm going to be using here, I will post the original links to the videos down below. I want to make sure to give them credit to the people who posted the videos. But Vinnie Moore was another one of those guys, kind of like the Paul Gilbert Intense Rock intro. You know how crazy that is? I remember seeing this on the early days of YouTube. So I'd only been playing a couple years at that point. And I just remember seeing that intro of Vinnie playing, and of course you get, what was it, Meltdown, and all these really cool songs. Vinnie is just an absolute beast. Another guy who I would love to interview. Any of these guys on this list, I would love to interview. Sadly, some of them have passed away, but all of these guys are total guitar heroes, and I think Vinnie deserves so much more credit than what he gets. Okay, so we're hopping over to Steve Lynch. I know a lot of attention gets put on George Lynch, but Steve Lynch is amazing. And a lot of these guys on here offer their own teaching websites now, so please go check them out, support them. I mean, obviously Steve Lynch has the really cool tapping stuff, but one of the things I stole from him was the idea of 2 notes. You know, I know a lot of people might associate that with like Satriani. But I remember seeing Steve Lynch do something like that one time, and I was like, oh, that's kind of cool, like building a chord through tapping, and he'll slide notes, and he 2 fingers. I mean, just really cool melodic playing, and man, Steve Lynch, we got to give him more attention because Steve's the man. Okay, we got to go back to my high school days. Whenever I remember listening to Pandora. I don't know if Pandora is still a thing. It was a very early streaming music website, and they had something called Guitar Gods Radio, and it was always playing Steve Vai and Joe Satriani and all those guys. And then one day I remember heard this song, and I'm like, who is this guy? And I looked him up. I'm like, Michael Lee Firkins. And then you jump into his playing. What a cool, unique sound, especially for back in the 80s. All the finger stuff that he was doing just sounded different from everybody else, and immediately fell in love with his, super melodic playing. He could do crazy stuff too, but I mean, I just loved his melodic sense. And, I should probably keep up with what Michael has going on nowadays, because what a monster player. Moving on down the list to Brad Gillis. Now, we could easily put Jeff Watson in here as well. Night Ranger has had some amazing guitarists. I think Joel Hoekstra was in Night Ranger at one point. And all these guys are great. Brad Gillis, of course, with the cool whammy bar things that he would do, his stint with Ozzy, and just kind of like, he was that gritty rock and roll 80s guy. You know, it had all the 80s flair and flash, but it was a little bit more rock and roll on it. And I mean, I love Night Ranger. What was the still, you can still rock in America. I think I'm playing that wrong, but killer riff. And I don't know if that was Brad or not, but man, I love Night Ranger, and I mean, of course, like Don't Tell Me You Love Me. So many cool things in there. So if you haven't really went down and checked out a bunch of Brad Gillis stuff, yo, get on it. Okay, now I've spent a lot of time on this channel talking about Key Marcello, but I think it's important that we also talk about John Norum, the original guy from those early Europe songs. And of course, if you have not checked out John's solo career, after he left Europe, he had a whole solo career, kind of like Sykes, how he left Whitesnake and then had Blue Murder. Check out John Norum's solo stuff. It is so good. Dude, John was like the total package, you know, the rock feel, the attitude. I always loved the kind of the sass that was on his playing. And dude, John Norum, you got to check him out if you are not familiar with him. Key and John, but you know, this time we're talking about John, so make sure you check him out. Okay, now this is one that I have seen you guys mention a lot. I've never featured him on a video, but Akira Takasaki, I hope I'm saying his name right, monster player. I mean, from loudness, what is the Crazy Nights riff? Let's see. I might be playing that wrong too, because I'm thinking of a Jakey Lee riff, and I think they're blending together to make one. But I love any riff that's got that F sharp in the bass. Oh, it's so good. I think that's it though. And again, I mean, all of these guys, killer chops, just maybe not quite in the spotlight like the Paul Gilberts and the Steve Vais and those guys were. And some of them might have, you know, come along in the 80s just a little bit too late, venturing into those early 90s, which are a lot of my favorite albums. But yo, Akira, again, another fantastic player. Another guy that I have not featured on here before, but Criss Impellitteri, wow. I mean, especially the early stuff. Shredder. I love how his playing has progressed over the years. Again, early, very shreddy, like super shred. And as he's gotten older, I mean, the shred's still there. He still can do any of that stuff that he wants to. Introduced a little bit more melody into it, and I just love the guitars that he's, you know, turned into over the years. But if you haven't checked out the band Impellitteri, check that out. I know I used a clip that's probably from the early 2000s, the Screaming Symphony, but there's not a lot of clips out there of Criss from the 80s. So another guy, I mean, probably the most technical player of everybody on this list, but just an absolute beast. Okay, and the final one is another guy that you guys have asked me to feature on these lists for years. So we've got to talk about Criss Oliva, and from Sabotage. Incredible player, taken way too soon. from us. You know, it's kind of like the Randy Rhoads situation where I'm not comparing him to Randy Rhoads, but he did have a lot of Randy influence in his playing, I feel. Just taken, and you wonder, like, man, what else would he have done? What else would he have written? So many of these guys, you know, and he had so much of my personal favorite elements of guitar. I love players who just have that attitude and aggression, but can have the smoothness when they want it. It's total package. He's definitely the heaviest guitarist on here, I would say. Like, the music was heavy. But I love his ability to combine picking legato ideas, like I said, the sass, the attitude, just monster play. I'm sure a lot of you guys are going to agree that he should be on this list. So just rest in peace to Criss, and thank you for all the inspiration and all those, you know, killer solos and riffs from Sabotage. There you guys have it. Did someone not make the list that you think should be on there? If you would, do me a huge favor, make your own list down below. I'm going to come back to this video next year. We'll do another one, feature another 8 guitarists, and maybe your pick will be on there. So other than that, thank you guys all so much. Like I said before, if you want to support the channel, do me a huge favor, check out my new course, The Ultimate 80s Shred Licks. I have more videos coming this week, because, yo, it's 80s week. And just know that I appreciate you guys, and I will see you all later. Yo, keep the 80s alive. Come on.